And welcome everybody to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, the coach's show for William Jewell College. Larry Holley joins us first, then Jill Cress, and after that, Tom Eisenhauer, the head coach for track and field. First, Larry Holley, the split over the weekend at St. Joseph's College, a win there in Rensselaer, Indiana, a very tough loss to the University of Indianapolis. And I think after the road trip, I'll let you decide which game you want to talk about first. What do you pick?
Well, we can talk about either. I guess we'll go in the order of the games played. St. Joseph's, we weren't ready to play at the get-go. They were. They were coming off of a split from their travel to Drury, where they lost a fairly close game at Drury and then won a tough game at S&T. So they were playing with confidence. They were back home. They jumped on us 10-0, and then I believe 13-1, and then finally 21-7. And they were just on fire, and everything we did offensively was pretty much wrong, and everything we did defensively they handled. They're a team that's going to push it every time. One of their game plans was to double team Dwight Sistrunk, our point guard, and fortunately for us, he beat that double team almost every time and found open people. Clint McCullough had a phenomenal weekend, and he was a recipient of some of those passes, certainly against St. Joseph's. Kyle Smith came off the bench, had a nice game for us. I think he had 17 points, 5 out of 9 from 3, so kind of a breakout game for him. Sistrunk had 13 assists in that game and only 3 turnovers, but everybody had a part to play. So it was a really nice win. First time I'd been in that facility. It was, as you know, was built in 1941, I think, about the time that Japan attacked Pearl Harbor.
Dedicated the day after Pearl Harbor.
Dedicated the day after, so a lot of history there. And so it was nice to visit Rensselaer, and the roads weren't great getting there. You get kind of like I coached it in Maryville, Missouri, and 2-lane roads going into Maryville, and I coached at Fayette, Missouri, and 2-lane roads going in there. We were going in on 2-lane roads that were snow-packed, covered, ice.
Coach, I've been down those roads in the middle of fall when it's beautiful, and they're not good then either.
Well, it was my first trip, and we're going about 40 miles an hour and hoping we're not sliding off into a ditch. But the accommodations were great at the hotel. The hospitality was great, so no complaints at all, and certainly a nice win.
Well, I want to talk to you about the win and what it meant to your coaching career, because it was win number 850, but let's wait for a moment to do that. Let's talk about Indianapolis. They're 19th in the country. You go in there, you play them and battle them through 40 minutes. Comes down to the last 4.7 seconds and 2 made free throws. But, boy, you're right in the game with one of the best teams in the nation.
Very proud of the effort, if not the result. Disappointing in the loss. Not disappointed in the way we played, although the statistic that really hurt us, we had 20 turnovers, and that's a lot of turnovers, especially for us. And give credit to UIndy. They play outstanding defense. They are physical. And we didn't step up to it at times. Some of them were self-inflicted, some credit to UIndy. Right. But there were a couple of them late that hurt us. But very proud of the effort. Hung with them in the first half. Second half, got the lead. And I think we held the lead for about 14 minutes, from about the 17-minute mark to about maybe the 3-minute mark. Now, we didn't, I think our largest lead was only 5, so they were hanging right there. But we're going toe-to-toe against a very, very good team, a team that's now 11-1, ranked 19th in the nation, only loss at Drury, defending national champs. So an outstanding team, very balanced. They had guys on the floor, all 5 of them could score and did. Yep. They had an inside game, had an outside game, had 3-point shooters, defended the life out of you, and just really proud of the effort. And Alexander Hudson kind of had a breakout game for us, his best game, and played 12 minutes, had 11 points, hit a big 3, I think at the 107 mark to tie it at 82. We make a stop, we get the ball back, and somehow Devontae Bell, our 2-guard, fell down, and he's not known for just falling down.
This is sarcasm,
and it's a bit of sarcasm. And I probably need. I don't know if I can get fined by the GLVC, but anyway, they get the ball, call timeout, and set up a play for the end of the game. Scores tied, and they set up a play, and again, Devontae Bell did a phenomenal job of hedging a screen, and was planted, and somehow a block was called, and but you're not going to get those calls on the road. And then even at the end, we had a play set up, threw the ball to our point guard. He gets bumped, no call, game over. And but you've got to overcome that. It's just a little frustrating when you've played that well and you see those three things happen in the last, under a minute to play. But really proud of our guys. Clint McCullough had another outstanding game, a little different. Not that he didn't earn the points against St. Joseph's, but he had a lot of uncontested shots against St. Joe's. He earned everything. And over the weekend, I don't know what he shot from the free throw line, but I think it was like 12 out of 13, maybe like Saturday, and maybe 9 out of 10 or something like that the night before. But just had a phenomenal rebound. He's a forward guarding centers, and Indianapolis particularly had a big guy, 6'8", about 240, who is a man in there, and he battled, and really proud of his effort. Again, the turnovers hurt us, and that's a credit to you, Indy. But great effort, disappointed in the loss. But hopefully our guys know now that when they step up and play well, they've got a chance. And we shot the ball. I've always said if you shoot the ball well, you've got a chance. And we shot the ball lights out. We shot 55% for the game. We shot 44% from three, and we shot 77% from the line. And so that's what gave us a chance, because the 20 turnovers did hurt us.
My impression during the game, and I said this during the broadcast, was that it looked like you were intentionally attacking them inside. With Clint having that kind of a game, was that by design from the bench, or was that Dwight's decision?
Well, we're just running our offense and what was there, and Clint going up strong with the ball and got to the free throw line and took advantage of that. It was, it's always part of our game plan to go inside, but we're not really an inside-oriented team this year, as you know. And but a lot of things when we didn't turn it over, we got a pretty good shot, and fortunately we shot it well.
Speaking of stats, the win at St. Joseph's College, as I mentioned earlier, was number 850 of your career. Now, you're a very humble guy, and I appreciate that about you, but you got to tell people in advance a little bit about that so we can talk about it, Coach. And it was even after the game before I even learned about it, so congratulations, first of all, for that. I'm teasing you a little bit, but what an accomplishment, and you've got to be very proud of that.
Well, thank you very much. My response to this, when you've coached for 80 years, you should average 10 wins a year. And I've coached a lot of years, and been blessed with a lot of outstanding players, assistant coaches, supportive administrators, and probably most of all, a really supportive family. And so I'm a blessed person, and of course, I've got a lot of losses on the ledger. I'm getting up there close to 500 losses, so I've probably got more losses than most guys have wins. But it's still fun. These guys are working hard, and feel very fortunate to be their coach.
That's Larry Holley inside the Cardinal Playbook, and we'll be back with head women's basketball coach Jill Cress when we return.
Hi, I'm Rachel Callaghy, Head Connections Specialist with Welcome Opportunities, the Northland's only target marketing firm that specializes in turning the thousands of new residents who move to our area each year into your customers. We are the advertising option that's never turned off, torn up, or tossed out. At least not yet, anyway. So if you're looking for the most cost-effective way to reach prospective customers before your competitors, give me a call today at 816-883-8633 or visit my website at welcomeopportunities.com.
I'm Jesse Limekeeler, the CEO of Belvoir Winery. You can reach us at www.belvoirwinery.com. We grow Norton, Chamberson, Vignole, and Muscat on the site. We have mature vines, 7 to 10 years of age, behind the buildings, and then we have 2 new vineyards that have just started up. We have a full bar available, and then in addition, a lot of people like to wander around the property. You can take your drinks and wander through the property and see all the things that there are to see on site. My name is Jesse Limekeeler, CEO of Belvoir Winery, 110 years in the making.
Jill Cress joins us now on Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Welcome, Coach. And the split on the road this weekend. You said after one of the games that splitting on the road is kind of the standard as you go through the season. I know you don't want to ever lose, but can you accept that kind of a performance over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you need to get some wins on the road, obviously, and you need to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And what we've talked a lot with our team is that we need to beat some, at least one or two of those top-tier teams, and we haven't done that. We came close with Southern Indiana, but haven't had that opportunity yet. And Indianapolis would have been a big win, and we played a pretty good half, and then really struggled in that second half.
Let's start with that first, as painful as it may be.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought, we did a nice job against their 2-3. They were in 2-3 the whole time, and, watching film, they really left the middle open, and we put Ariel Smith there, and she had a great first half, having 11 points, and they were going to adjust, and we told them that at halftime, and I think the second half, we really came out and didn't really follow game plan at all and kind of did our own thing. And one of the things that I think Indianapolis really feeds on is you coming down there and hurrying up shots. And the first half we were really patient and got the shot that we wanted. The second half we kind of started off just kind of firing up and trying to create things instead of being patient in that. And they like to run, and they do a great job of that. And we kind of fed into what they wanted to do and didn't adjust well. And they did a nice job taking away that high post where Ariel was. And I didn't really do a great job as far as we switched some things up, but probably should have done a little different with that point, bringing switching up with the high post, low post, and get a little more action there rather than standing there and doing some things there. But you learn from that, and again, Indianapolis was a great team, and they shot very, very well, and we struggled the second half. First half we were 6 for 9 from 3-point range. Second half we were 2 for 11, and you kind of live and die from that when you're playing zone.
Well, one of the things that kind of impressed me, you were down by 26, 23 maybe in the second half, and then all of a sudden with a different rotation in there, it was a 14-point game or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You got some good stuff off the bench.
Yeah, actually, with I think it was because I was looking back through play-by-play, it was 6:46 we were down 23, and 4:30 we were down 12. And so yeah, we did some nice things, and then they came back and made another run, but got within 12, had some chances there, and kind of stuck with the players that got us there, and that happens. But I was proud of the team. We fought back, and then we kind of buried ourselves again there at the end.
Let's switch to the game before that, the St. Joseph's game. You gave up an easy basket to them early on. They threw the ball, I think, over the top down the sideline, but then you came back and did not have any problems getting up on them a little bit. That's been a problem, though, through the year, that first half, but you came out storming out of the gates.
Yeah, no, we played really well, I thought. We struggled with our press against them. They were so quick, and I thought it struggled getting back in that. We ended up going half court, quite a bit. But no, it was nice to get an early start and be able to hold on to that the whole way through. And again, I think St. Joseph's is a pretty good team. They're very athletic, and they did some nice things. And they're getting used to a new coach, and he's getting used to them. And so that usually takes a year or two to get where you want to be. But I thought they're going to beat some people along the way, and for us to go on the road and to win there, they were unbeaten at their place. So to go into anybody's gym and be able to go out with a win is kind of a successful trip with that.
Who played well for you on Thursday?
Yeah, I thought we all played well. Those games kind of go in together. I think Cassie's played well both those games, and she's played really well all year. But she's such an undersized post player. Yep. But you look at both of those games, she was really solid, and she is when she gets her hands on the ball, and she rebounds well. Thought Ariel played well. I think she had 12 points and 9 assists on that game, and I think everybody came in and did what they needed to do. Zinka came in off the bench and did a nice job in both those games for us. So, I just thought as a team we played well there, and we played well for a half against Indianapolis.
Another road weekend is coming up here. S&T on Thursday nights, and then it'll be the Drury game on Saturday afternoon. And with Drury having so much success this year, is it easy to overlook S&T?
No. S&T we really struggled with last year, and so that's something. I think our players do a really nice job of not looking ahead and just looking at the next game. And I know as a coaching staff, we won't talk about Drury until Thursday night, Friday. But again, S&T is a good solid team. They've been struggling a little bit this year. They lost one of their big kids that they thought they were going to have to transferring once the season started, and so that's an adjustment for a coach and the team to do. And I think both games will be a challenge. And then of course Drury, they were number 6 in the nation until they lost to Indianapolis, the team that we had just played. And Steve Huber is the new coach there, and he was at Benedictine for a long time, very successful, and then lately was the assistant coach at Creighton for quite a while. So I know him well, and interesting thing, his first coaching job was with Steve Broughton.
Oh, really?
At Truman High School.
Oh,
he was Steve's assistant coach at Truman for the boys, and that's how he kind of got started. But with his connections at Division I, he's brought in some kids. He got the 6'7" transfer from the University of Minnesota, and obviously, whether she's real mobile or not is still a challenge at 6'7", and then again they're playing well and they shoot the ball well. So I think both those games are going to be challenges for us, but they're both games I think if we play well, we're going to have an opportunity in both of them.
I want you to finally, if you wouldn't mind talking about Larry Holley just a little bit, because he got his 850th win Thursday night against St. Joseph's. Now, I'm going to tell a story for here in just a second. I had no idea. He didn't say anything to anybody that ever said anything to me. The first chance I got to know about it was way after the game. He didn't even mention it in his post game. Did you know about it, the possibility?
I hadn't. I had forgotten. I had read it on Facebook. One of his friends keeps kind of posting up his winning record, and no, but that doesn't surprise me for him not to say anything.
What does 850 mean to him? Because I think it means quite a bit.
Yeah, he's just such a successful coach and just a great person, very humble. But anybody that can reach, when you get up to 850 and 800, and he's just and to do it, at one school or mostly at one school is pretty impressive. And again, he's extremely humble about it. And one of the neat things I think we're going to do when we go to Springfield, and I asked him if it would be okay, is if we could go to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame where he's been inducted. And again, he's in 5 Hall of Fames. But I know him pretty well.
I know you're a great friend of his.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends, and for him, I know the highlight of coaching. He likes to win. Everybody does, but we went to Indianapolis, and 3 of his former players showed up just to see him, and I know that's what means the most to him is those kids and what they do, and seeing them. Alumni Day is his favorite day. When those kids come back, and then they're grown and they've got families of their own. I know it was a highlight. That was one of the first things he said when he got in the bus was how neat it was to see 3 of his past players there and their families. And that's Larry. The wins are great, and I know he's proud of that, and he's proud of the players that have put into that and the assistant coaches. But I know the thing that he enjoys most are the people that are involved in the programs.
Jill, thank you very much, and that's a very nice way to put it, I think, because he is extremely humble. Jill Cress has been our guest here inside the Cardinal Playbook. When we come back, it'll be track and field coach Tom Eisenhauer that joins us next.
Tanner's is new to Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection. They're open Sunday through Tuesday from 11 a.m. until midnight, and Wednesday through Saturday from 11 until 1:30 a.m. Come in any day for food specials in the spacious dining area. Happy hour specials are served from 2 spots in the building, and the service is fast and friendly. Tanner's of Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection.
Poor Boy Oil Company is and always has been locally owned and operated. We promise convenience and service with small town values. We want you to choose Poor Boy again and again, whether you're looking for a hot cup of coffee to help start your day, grabbing lunch at midday, picking up milk at the end of the day, or heading for a Cardinal game any day. We're here to help you get you on your way quickly. Most stores are open 24 hours, so we're here when you need us. Poor Boy Oil Company. Find us around the Northland, wherever the Cardinals fly.
Coach Tom Eisenhauer joins us now inside the Cardinal Playbook to talk a little bit about track and field, the indoor version, of course, here in January. We've talked, I guess, a number of times about the difference between indoor and outdoor, and we can get to that in a second, but you've just come off a meet this weekend, which not a lot of people can say this early in the year. How'd it go for you?
Well, it went well. I mean, to be expected this early in the year. Every team faces the same thing. Is we just came back from winter break. For us, it was 4 weeks away from campus, away from, coaches, and so we don't expect our athletes to be at their best at this meet, but it's a good measuring stick to see, where they are, what kind of fitness levels they have, what's maybe been forgotten over the break that they haven't been able to train. So, But I thought we did well. We had a really good showing out of our younger crew, our freshmen and sophomores, and so that's exciting, and makes me really excited to see what the future will hold.
Tell us about the meet itself first.
The meet was hosted by Missouri Southern State University down in Joplin, Missouri, and not a very big meet. It was Missouri Southern, obviously, as they hosted it. We were down there. Missouri S&T had a few athletes. Pitt State had a few athletes. Cali Community College had a few athletes, and so there's a few other community colleges there as well. And so not a huge meet, but enough that you get some good competition, good field sizes, but certainly we were challenged in a lot of ways.
I want to come back to the results here and the kids that participated in a moment, but what do you ask for your athletes to do during the 4 weeks that they have off, that they go home or whatever?
Well, they're given workouts, and they understand, and we bring this point home even during the recruiting, that if you were to be a member of this team, the expectation is that you are going to work out. Now, we can't make them mandatory, and we can't necessarily be checking in on every single one of them every single day. And so really it's it's on them as student athletes, and we expect them to be young adults and to be responsible and to take ownership of their training. And so they're provided workouts, but the reality is, for example, we had a polar vortex this year, and so there are some days where it was not safe to be outside for extended periods of times, and so you make do with what you can. And there's some kids that are much better doing all the workouts over break, and there's some others that don't take advantage of it. And generally, what we see is that as student athletes get older, they realize the importance of training over the winter break, and they put more merit into it. And it's, I've heard it year after year, especially with our seniors, saying, "Oh, don't make the mistake I did, and take 4 weeks off." And so, and that's something that the longer that I've coached here, there's fewer and fewer people taking the winter break off. So I feel like we've done a good job in kind of changing the culture here in the last 5 years.
I imagine that when you come back from a long break like that the timing and the tape doesn't lie when you get into a meet like Missouri Southern. Does it kind of show up there?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no hiding, especially with some of the events that are more fitness-based. Our middle distance and our distance runners. If you tell me that you ran over break, what we see at the meet, there's no denying it. It is what it is, But again, like I said, we're not the only one that faces that. Every coach you talk to is going to say, "Well, I'd like to do this, but unfortunately, you got to put a lot of trust in 18, 19, 20-year-olds."
Yeah. Well, isn't that coaching though?
It is. It is. Well, that's what makes it fun too.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's really not just about winning and breaking records and things like that, and you hope that as a coach it's a teaching opportunity, that you're teaching them to be responsible young adults and hopefully preparing them for what comes after college.
How about Missouri Southern now? Who did well, and what was your impression of the meet?
We had a lot of people do well. I brought a list with me because
Good. Read the list.
I'm always going to leave people out if I don't. I'd say the highlight of the meet was Maggie Swenson, senior for us. She took second in the 400-meter dash. She also placed 6th in the 200-meter dash. And although her 400 wasn't a personal best, her 200 was a personal best for the indoor season. Right. So, and then even within the 400, one of the things we look for as coaches in the 400-meter dash is a 200-meter split. And so she is now running faster through her first 200 than she ever has in her career. So good. As we progress through the season, we'll see that second 200 get a lot quicker. And so I'm really excited for her. She did a lot of work, and so that's what you hope for your seniors, and really what you expect from your seniors. And, but then a lot of youngsters really stepped up big. Gretchen Mays, she was 4th in the long jump. She went 17 feet 4 1/4 inches. Sophomore Margaret Perko was right behind her, taking 7th in that event. In the shot put, sophomore Satoa Talamatasi, she was 5th, and freshman Mariah Bernard was 6th right behind her. And on the men's side, freshman Trevor Nix was 7th. He also got 5th in the weight throw, so great day for him. PRs all around for him. Freshman Shelby Ridenauer, she was 6th in the 60-meter dash, and unofficially new school record. We're still going through to verify everything, but she went up against some really fast girls and did well. Margaret Perko again was 4th in the 60-meter hurdles, and then freshman Blake Alexander was 3rd in the hurdles. And then our women's 4x4, running with an alternate, took second, and that was made up of Gretchen Mays, Margaret Perko, Jessica Goldsberry, and Maggie Swenson. So great showing.
Right.
Our women did especially well. You know, the men, I didn't read as many men's names off, and to be honest, we didn't run as many men at the meet either. You know, there's some guys we just felt weren't ready, so we trained through this, and you know, but a lot of PRs all around. I mean, it's what you want to see out of this.
Sure. We got to be really thrilled, especially it's the first indoor meet after the new year.
Yeah, and you know, when you're dealing with a large group of freshmen and sophomores, you know, PRs are a great thing to get. It means you're doing the right things, it means you're training, and you're going forward.
How about recruiting, that intrinsic motivation? How do you spot that?
You know, the great thing about being at a place like William Jewell is that generally student athletes that are intrinsically motivated are good students, you know, because they have the same drive that they have to be a good student athlete, to push themselves every single day. We generally see it translate, and so, you know, one of the first things that we look for are the academic profile of a student athlete. Okay. And you know, I believe in our abilities as coaches here to train athletes, and so, you know, but to be a student here at William Jewell, you know, you've got to take academics seriously, you've got to be committed, otherwise you won't make it.
Right.
And we're fortunate that we have excellent graduation rates here, some of the highest, and I believe that's because, you know, we find the kids that are looking for this kind of education, that are looking for an opportunity to compete at a high level while getting this type of education. So,
or is what you're saying then, when you go out and you look at a potential college athlete while they're still in high school, you're looking at their academic profile as much as anything?
Yeah, well, to start off, probably more so than anything. You know, if they're a state champion and they've got a C average, as a coach, that's kind of a red flag for me, telling me that they may not be successful, and if I bring that kid on, they may not be eligible for half their career. And so, you know, I want to bring kids in that are going to be successful students, first of all. You know, we want to graduate students. That's the #1 goal of everyone on this campus. And so, so my job is to make sure that the kids that we bring in, we're not setting them up for failure, in a sense. You know, we want to make sure they're going to be successful here. And then once we feel that they meet the academic profile that we're looking for, then we look and see, okay, now do they have what it takes to be competitive in this conference?
Sure.
For some, they've already hit times and marks. For others, they haven't quite hit the marks, but we look at other things, maybe how long they've been training for in the sport, how tall they are, success in other sports, and sometimes those things will translate to a kid will have a lot of upswing that, you know, maybe we'll see them do great things junior, senior year.
Tom, what do you love about track and field? I mean, you've talked about several things here about being a coach, but just the sport itself, what do you love about it?
I love the challenge of it. You know, it's a sport where you are challenging yourself physically and mentally day in and day out. You know, as much pain, as agony as your body goes through, your mind has got to be sharp, and your mind's got to be tough and disciplined in order to make yourself go through that. If we're doing a workout where we're doing repeat quarter miles, you know, when you get to number 5 and number 6, it's really easy to quit. Or to want to quit, and so being able to overcome that. So I love the mix of mind and body and the discipline that it takes to be successful. So,
what's next for your team?
Well, next we will take a select few over to the Jayhawk Classic. It's a qualifier-only meet, and so those that have hit the marks between December, our first meet, and this meet as well, we'll take down there and give them a chance to compete against some larger schools, some Division I's, and some top-tier Division II's, and try to just keep getting better week in and week out. For those that didn't qualify, we'll continue to train for about the next month, and then we'll head down to Central Missouri at the beginning of February.
That is head track and field coach Tom Eisenhauer, and we're back with more on Inside the Cardinal Playbook following this break.
We're Shelter Insurance.
We know you don't stay in business for more than 60 years unless you treat customers right.
We think insurance is better when it relies as much on humanity as it does on technology.
And we know what the weather is like in your area because we live in your area.
Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Get the insurance coverage you need at the right price. Call Kimberly Sidden today.
I really love the Hy-Vee Fuel Saver program because there's no limit to what you can buy. I work on Monday nights, so we make sure I pick up a pizza. They're usually a 5 to 15 cent fuel saver. It's an easy discount and an easy meal for the kids. The most I've saved with gas was $2.08 a gallon. When I saw how much it was, I kind of did a little dance up and down. I took a picture, of course, of what I saved, and then I sent it to my husband, who then posted on Facebook that I went back in time and saved money on gas today.
Now, thanks today to our head coaches Larry Holley, Jill Cress, and track and field's Tom Eisenhauer for appearing on Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Don't forget this weekend, Thursday and Saturday, it's Cardinal basketball at Missouri S&T on Thursday, and then at Drury Saturday afternoon. You can listen live on the William Jewell College Sports Network. Thanks again for joining us inside the Cardinal Playbook.